waking up
to
a lot of commotion. When I got up and looked, I seen about, say, 4 to 5 gunmen. All had balaclavas on. So I remember getting up after hearing a commotion, seeing what I seen, and instantly started running. As I run out of the building, man's been shot.
I ain't gonna lie, the Ladbibles get a lot of views. So I gotta do the Kick promo on here. Listen, on this video, follow the Kick. If you on YouTube, follow the Kick. You see me? This is where we at with it. Everything on YouTube or Kick, don't fucking make it to YouTube. What's wrong here? This shit bullshit though.
Bullshit.
It's gonna keep your phone on, that's it. Follow the Kick, man.
So the early years, it was good, man. It was them days where playing out was cool, you know what I mean? Aki tracky, beat the letter, you know what I mean? Kirby, football on the roads. I was a child with ADHD, so I had a lot of energy, and I felt like it was just finding where to put that energy was the hard thing growing up. I grew up in an area called Erdington, which is in Birmingham, right by Spaghetti Junction, and that area there is multicultural, and it was a tight neighbourhood. This is what I remember. You remember the days you could leave your door open, and then your neighbour come round, like, yo, I've just come round for some sugar, whatever it is, and they're like, yeah, and have a chat with your mum and whatnot. So the negatives, I would say, it's very easy to be small-minded and not look at the bigger picture just from coming from Birmingham. I feel like not a lot of people in Birmingham leave Birmingham. So it's not until you either travel or you have a job outside of where you live is when you start noticing these things, which is a crazy thing, man.
And what was your family unit like then?
So it was my family unit was dope still. When I was born, I always had my grandfather in the house. Lived with my mum and lived with my brother and lived with my grandfather. So from the first day I can remember, I remember my granddad being in the house. So you know what's mad as well? I still live by very certain old morals. And a lot of my mates don't get it, but I always believe it was because the father figure around my house was my granddad. So a lot of things that I was taught, just becoming into a man or whatever it is in life, was taught from my granddad. My house as well. My mum always worked as well. Always working. She did care work, so she'd do a 9 till 9. So my friend's mum would walk me to school on certain days, and
you've never seen
family was always into music. So dad did soca and calypso. I had uncles that did soca and calypso. My brother did. He used to play out music, so we had a big set which was in the house. So loud music and bass line was a thing that was in the family from a young age, man.
Was there anything that you sort of witnessed? Were there any situations that you remember that shaped you?
Well, you know what's crazy? Growing up, I lived on a road where you witness fights. It's normal to see straighteners. Coming from where I'm coming from, you handle your business by having a straightener. And you shake your hands after it, so that was normal to see. You know what's mad? There's a lot of, come from the area as well. What's negative, like, everyone loves cars from early and bikes, so if you ain't got the money to obtain that, it's kind of normal in your normal nature to kind of rob cars or rob bikes and joyride. And like, mad as a youth, you take someone's car, not even care who's driving it or whatnot, and just drive it and joyride with the lads and whatnot. So I seen things that was so naughty, which I thought naughty. I thought I was a naughty kid, but then when you start...
Nigga taking a car with no plans to do nothing with it but drive. Real shit. That's killer. That's old killer. Young boy killer. That's past 7 years ago, so we can talk about it. That's old killer. Just hop his shit and go. No plans, no destination. No destination, no nothing. Just come to the block. Yo, the key in the... Don't leave your key in the car in the hood, bro. That's all I'm saying, nigga. You leave your kid in the car, it's over. Still can't drive. Look, the killer still can't drive. He would do that to yo. You would think this nigga a pro driver. Nigga still can't drive to this day.
Bugging.
To this day.
This nigga's drunk.
To this day.
Nah, that's dope funny.
That's crazy.
It was so naughty, which I thought naughty. I thought I was a naughty kid, but then when you start going to them places, you start experiencing some serious stuff. Some serious kids that your naughtiness is not even you know what I mean, no level to what it is.
Would you say there's gang violence as well in your area?
100%. Birmingham's a place where there's two sides, like Crips and Bloods. One's called Johnny's, one's called Burger Bars.
Cat don't smoke the loud, killing them down here right now. The loud, killing them down here.
Nigga Killer just said he the best driver.
Oh, yeah, I ain't even pay that shit no mind. He talking that dumb shit. I don't even pay that shit no mind. No mind at all.
Nigga kid drive, nigga.
Still up to this day, there's obviously younger generations have changed their names and whatnot, but it's still the same two sides, probably fighting over things they don't even know.
Cat, if I was just eating,
This shit is a hot box, yo.
Yo, you want this?
What's that? You want that, killer?
No.
Let me see it. I'll try.
The same two sides, probably fighting over things they don't even know. 2011, mad
How
year
we
for me
going?
still. All starts with
Shit too
we get a
smoky
call
for
from
you.
my brother saying my dad passed.
Shit too smoky for this little nigga. Niggas, I gotta get out of here. I can't breathe. Alright, yeah, alright, nigga. He capping.
away.
He can't breathe.
Cardiac arrest. Dad did music as well, so every weekend he played the electric guitar. He'd go to a pub or whatever hall, you know what I mean, and go and play for entertainment. And he came off stage and actually passed away. 2 years before that, my mom collapsed, had a stroke.
Yeah.
So she was in like a rehabilitation place. So it was crazy. My dad passed away while my mum was still in his place. 3 months later, my mum passes away from heart problems as well. Obviously, she was ill before that, but it was just 3 months of straight tragicness. And it's mad because it was like it just hit me into a mode of where now I've got no more parents. No one can tell me what to do or how to do it. Because I felt like whoever could tell me before was gone. So from there, after I was staying at my mum's house on myself, I was 19 years old in a 3-bedroom yard, which I stayed in. I was a mummy's boy, so I never really did much. My mum cooked, she did everything. She taught me a few things in life, but I was a mum's boy, she used to do a lot for me. So I was in that 3-bedroom yard for ages, just living wouldn't say bachelor life, but just getting through. I think about 7 more months later, being 19, I didn't have a clue about mortgage, whatever bills needed to get paid. My house got repossessed.
Free.
I came back from going out.
My son thought he was just living in there for free. He thought, nigga, mommy gone, daddy gone. He just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay in the crib. Do me. Nah, nigga, bills still gotta be paid, bro. Still gotta pay them bills.
My house got repossessed.
Mm-hmm.
I came back from going out, tried to get my key in the door, it wouldn't go in.
Damn.
Note on the door saying, your house has been repossessed.
Damn.
It was crazy, and you know, before we get into 2012, that same year, in February, so 3 months before my dad passed, I had a child, which was my daughter, my firstborn. I was 19 years of age. So I had my daughter, dad passed, mum passed, house repossessed. After everyone passed away, I started driving with no license, and it was like no one could tell me anything. Even down to all my brothers who I used to go and see, aunties, uncles. I'd pull up to a family union or whatever it is, and they'd be like, yo, you driving? You ain't passed yet. I'm like, don't worry, man, I'll pass soon or whatever. Ended up getting pulled, I think. First time I got 3 points, second time 3 points. Or 6 points, and then 6 points again, I got 12, and I was banned. So I knew it was banned, but I just didn't care. I just kept buying cars, cheap little runarounds, go and get 500 quid, buy a little Golf, get me through. And it was mad, like, I was just basically living out my car. No one ever knew. I'd say bye to the lads and just go and find a nice little parking spot to go and crank off.
Damn.
And then, obviously, me driving on a ban.
That's crazy. Nigga said he was just living in the V's he buy, nigga. Leaving the gang, go find somewhere to park up at and go to sleep. That's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. Now you're a rapper, though. That's why I'm saying it's crazy. Now look at him. He ain't give up.
One day, old Bills tried to pull me again.
Take him on the
That
chase.
day, I don't know what went through me, but I just weren't having it. Ended up getting into one of the maddest police chases. 2 helicopters. Squeezing through ballards, doing everything. Bare helicopters out, 45-minute chase.
Damn.
Getting away from the chase, having to get out on foot where helicopters ended up finding me in the bush.
Damn.
From that moment there, I went from the bush to court to prison.
Damn.
The judge said, nah, you're taking the piss. There's no way. We've banned you 3 times and you're still driving. So he ended up sending me to prison.
Damn.
This was in 2014. So I've had about 3 years now of hardship, would you say, you know what I'm trying to say?
How long did you serve then?
I think my first sentence for what I did for driving was 14 months.
What was prison like?
Prison for me it wasn't like what it was like on the movies.
Bush to
I don't know
court
if
to
you've never been in
prison.
prison, you have a little mad outlook of what prison's going to be like, or, you know what I mean? Is it like the movies? If you drop the soap, a man going to be onto you? Well, obviously, it's not like that, bro. It's like, I wouldn't call it a summer camp because it's not a place to be, but it's just a place of people with like-minded people all stuffed into one place. So you end up meeting people, and obviously there's a negative and positive about prison as well, because the negative side of it, you can keep going after you go to prison once. And the positive of it, you can
Learn.
learn.
Exactly.
That
What?
this is not the life for you.
What?
He talking.
He talking facts right now. He talking.
And I feel like that prison sentence for me was the one that made me. Because what I did, I started writing bars. Anytime a certain tune came on the radio, a certain beat I liked, I'd start writing bars. I took up some business course, a maths course. I remember doing a resettlement.
Yeah,
That's
really
exactly
saved
what it's
niggas,
called,
bro.
resettlement course. So before leaving prison, you have to do a resettlement course. First question on that was, who am I? It's a spider diagram. Who am I? Before you get to start writing, the woman goes, listen, before anyone starts writing, I'm a dad, I'm a brother, I'm a uncle. You can't write that. I want to actually know who you are. End up peeping to see like, oh, I couldn't write anything. I'm thinking, what? Who am I? You know what I mean? What trade have I got? What can I actually put? I remember peeping like that, looking at the geezer next to me. He couldn't write nothing. Like, I didn't know actually what to do. And obviously the woman ended up saying, you know what? You can write if you are a brother or uncle or a, whatever it is, a sibling. And everyone started writing, but it was crazy. It was a deep one. When I went back to my cell that night, I thought, how could I not answer, who am I? And I think from that day on, the penny dropped. That was the question that I now had to answer, and that was the chase. Is that, who am I?
Facts.
And do you explain who you are by chasing a trade or living for a certain purpose? I had to start living for a purpose. I had a daughter at the time who, like, her mom was asking me for dough. I didn't know where I was going to get that dough from. Coming out of prison, I just kind of have a drive to become something or someone and have some sort of mission in life and a purpose even. It was crazy. I was writing the bars that I've written down in prison. I was in my hostel. I was in a hostel at the stage. So I was writing some bars.
Was that when you first started writing then?
Nah, because I felt like, as I said, I was always, family orientated, was always in music. So I would do things, make my own tapes. You know, like when the garage crews were on the radio at that stage, the garage crew, I'd get my mum's tapes, like, yo, I gotta record over this. This set was cold. And then there was a bit of a grime scene in Birmingham where you could go to and just drop some bars for some wheel-ups. So there was always a love for music. So I feel like that's why when I need it, I always feel like music's my counselling as well. I feel like when I started writing, it was just my counselling. It was for me to start writing about things that I felt like no one else has touched on. Losing my mum and dad within 3 months, carrying coffins, not actually saying goodbye to someone where someone's giving you a chance to. So much things in life lessons that I learned. That, you know what I mean, that I have to grow up as well. And I feel like that's how I do it, man. That's what's kept me sane. Turning my pain into strength.
I'm gonna hit you when I come back.
Kind of gives you a purpose, you know what I mean? Not everyone gets the chance to let thousands or hundreds of thousands to hear what you've got to say or to hear your story. So I feel like it's brought me to places in life I never expect I'd ever visit in my life. I feel like doing shows was one thing, but when you do shows abroad or at a club, for instance, sometimes they have another artist there, or there's 3 artists on at that night. That's me coming up anyway, there'd be 3 or 4 artists on. When I actually done my tour, my own personal one, first one, MIS to the T tour, and went out, started singing certain songs and hearing fans sing back what I've put my heart and my soul into, blood, sweat and tears, and gone through a madness to even speak about it, sing it back to me. Actually, the penny dropped. Like, you know what, I'm actually filling out these rooms with everyone and they've come to see me.
Did that drive you on as well?
Give me the biggest drive. Because you actually can see it. There's one thing knowing you're getting 100k views or 1 million views, but seeing thousands of people in one room singing your songs back to you, it's immense.
Obviously, there was Portugal as well. What was the background on that?
I remember being in an Airbnb one night. Obviously, because it's been Afro Nation, it's been a long few days. So everyone was crashed out, we've been partying. Me and about, let's say, 8 lads in the gaff. So having a little chill out. I remember waking up to a lot of commotion. When I got up and looked, I'd seen about, let's say, 4 to 5 gunmen. All had balaclavas on, all had silences. This is what was crazy. It was like a movie. So I remember getting up after hearing a commotion, seeing what I seen, and instantly started running out of the Airbnb. Obviously, it was just a natural reaction, like, what the hell's going on? I'm a high profile artist, I got jewelry in the place. There's geezers in here with guns, like, get out of here. As I run out of the building, man's been shot. I remember running as fast as I can, but I remember hearing a loud bang, buff, and my leg freezing up. I mean, not moving. And then, obviously, being on the floor and whatnot, I remember a few people coming over telling me to get down on the floor and whatnot. It's a crazy experience and just not knowing what's going on. Yeah, man, I actually remember running out into the back garden, sprinting, and then, because I remember someone coming through the door in front of me, and actually getting into the back garden, hearing a loud bang, and my leg just stopped working, and me hitting the floor. Lying on the floor, I remember everyone telling me to stay down. After about, let's say, 2 minutes of whatever's going on's happening, people in the house searching, doing everyone what they was doing, I thought me being by a swimming pool, the sound of the tap running was a swimming pool. When I've looked down to my leg, it's actually my leg bleeding like a tap. Remember the sound, the way it was hitting the floor, it was like a tap. So now instantly in panic mode, saying to the guy that's over there with the gun, like, bro, I've been shot in my leg, it's bleeding, get me a towel. No one ain't really listening. I remember them coming back out. Had a bit of jewels. I didn't have as much jewels on as I had on at that time. But yeah, the last thing was to say, just take your jewels off. And yeah, I ended up taking my bracelet, my chain, a couple rings.
Real nigga shit. That shit is all replaceable, my nigga. That shit don't make a nigga pussy or nothing, nigga. That shit is all replaceable. On my mama. That shit is all replaceable, nigga. Get that shit up. You can get that shit back and you can get your lick back. If you want it back, pause. You can get your shit back. Buy some new shit or you can try to figure out what's going on. But nigga, you can't do nothing dead. Yeah, you can't be tough. You can't do nothing dead, nigga. Get that shit up. If a nigga you gotta respect the jokes. You gotta respect the jokes.
Last thing was to say, just take your jewels off. And yeah, I ended up taking my bracelet, my chain, a couple rings. And then obviously, after they got away, I ended up going back into houses to see if anyone else has been shot. No one else has been shot. It was just me that got shot.
Cause you red.
Legs leaking. I'm thinking, gotta get to the hospital. Got to the hospital. Got seen to. It was a very long. Police was coming in there asking me what's happened. I'm saying I don't know what's happened. I've just been on holiday. Someone's come in and robbed and shot me.
How did the police treat you?
Bit weird. There's like, until they actually knew I was from England, they didn't actually help me the way they should have been helping me. And they wouldn't, like, I remember coming out of the hospital, turning on my phone, and the phone ringing straight away. Yo, you okay? My manager from England, I'm like, why? What's going on? They're like, bro, you're all over Sky News. You've been shot in Portugal. I'm like, huh? How? And obviously, thinking back, the only person I told that story was a police officer, so it was only could be the police officer that sold that story on me. So yeah, the whole statement that they got was from a police officer. And yeah, man ended up getting, I remember being in the hospital, not feeling like I was getting treated well at all, and just leaving.
Did you have any idea who did it?
Didn't know who did it. I just remember a couple of voices and a couple of accents, which is not really a big help. But what I can say is that it definitely, my life flashed before my eyes. And it was mad. I had people phoning me from everywhere, people posting it. And I remember getting back into England and no one coming to see me. And I don't care what anyone says. I believe that when things like this happen to you, you have some sort of trauma, some sort of fear that it could happen again. And I was going through something, and I just remember just not feeling, I wouldn't say vulnerable, but I wasn't feeling 100 myself. After the trauma started coming out, the thinking of my life flashed before my eyes, and it all happened in Portugal, like it all could have went there. Wrong there, and I always believe it was the wrong place, wrong time, because I always believe whoever them people come for that day was definitely not for me. And that's how I got spared that day.
Did you lose focus after that?
I feel like, nah, it kind of pushed me, you know. I feel like it was just after So High came out, which is one of my biggest singles to date. So what I believe is sometimes negative exposure and good exposure.
All exposure.
You can make it good. I would say that lesson there told me never to mix business with pleasure. And obviously now I definitely don't mix business with pleasure, you know what I'm saying? If I'm there for a certain amount of time, why would I start spending my own dough to be at a place? You know what I mean? What for? Yeah, don't get me wrong, you can have fun with your mates and that, but trust me, you have to be aware, one step ahead.
Facts.
Last question I'm going to ask you. How does it make you feel looking back at what you've achieved up to this point?
Makes me feel great. Because, as I said, man, going back to the start, I was asked who am I at a stage in my life and I couldn't answer it. And I feel like if I was to get asked that question now, today, I could wheel off a line of things. So I feel like being able to
Who are you, nigga?
say, who am I, is an accomplishment in itself. Just a journey. And you can look at it as you want. Like, I feel like to get to the point of me being able to tell someone who I am, it took a long journey. It took that's what I've done. It took me getting shot. So the reason why I called my album Redemption, I feel like, because I've had a bit of time off, I believe there was so much stuff that happened in life that I needed time off to get to know who really missed us. And I feel like redemption, in the name alone, explains a lot. I felt like I've had to give the ears something that you didn't know what was missing. Give it you again, and when you hear it, you'll know like, yo, this is what I've been missing. And that's redemption in itself, man. It's back. Having people say some good things that are relatable, just knowing that you relate, you're a voice, not just for yourself, you're a voice for so much people, you know what I mean? Man's voice, knowing that my voice could save someone and give them hope, I feel like that's the main thing, man. I feel like that's the growth in itself there, man.
Look, there's not an easy way for my nan to...
Hold on. That was dope, man. Shout out to Mist.